Hey guys, it's Cam and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, then welcome, and if you're into all things beauty, I'm talking hair, makeup, and skincare, then I really hope that you stick around and join the Cam fam by hitting that subscribe button down below. And don't forget to hit the bell too so you don't miss any videos. So today's going to be another 2 looks, 1 palette edition, and I'm going to be using this Wander Beauty Wanderess Escape palette. So this palette is a trip, pun intended. So I love the way the 2 looks turned out. One of them is like a more neutral halo eye, and then with the second look, I wanted to play with color, so it kind of turned out very cotton candy. I love what's going on here, but let's talk about the formula. So the mattes are really nice in this palette. They're super blendable. This dark like really shows up, but is really blendable as well. So I love that about this. And a lot of the like neutral shimmers have a really nice formula, but they're kind of weird in that they don't show up when you use a brush with them. Like I can't get them to show up unless I use my finger. So you might have that same issue. So I highly recommend using your finger for all the shimmers in this palette. Now, the 2 that I used for this look, Flourish and Sea Glass, these are a formula that I feel like I haven't encountered before. They're almost like this crushed pearl glitter shimmer, and they're absolutely stunning, but they're like the crumbliest mess that I've ever dealt with. The amount of fallout that I have on my face right now, I haven't had in a really long time. So you need to be really, really careful if you want to use them. I recommend doing your eyes first if you're going to try this look, because my base makeup is just like wrecked right now. So definitely, if you're gonna try this particular look, you're probably gonna wanna do your eyes first. But anyway, if you wanna see how to do 2 super cute looks with this palette, then just keep watching. So for the first look, I wanna do just like a neutral halo eye, something that anyone can rock if they don't wanna dip into like any color or anything like that. So first I'm picking up the color Sunkissed on an M441 brush, and I'm gonna start running that in the crease, basically in like a half circle. That way it's gonna help blend out everything that we're gonna place in the halo. So this is really easy. You just kind of draw a sideways C in your crease. I'm trying to build up the color a little closer to the corners and then really make it super blended out the closer we get to the brow. Also, make sure you're bringing it in this inner corner. I know that can be a little scary sometimes, but it's really gonna help blend out the halo shape. Next, I'm going into the color Overnight, and I'm using a Sigma E30 pencil brush because I wanna be super precise with this placement. So I'm taking some kind of like on the side of the brush, and I'm gonna start packing it on the outer corner. And I'm not bringing this up past the crease at all. So that's kind of like the shape I'm trying to achieve there. And then I'm gonna pick some up again and place some in the inner corner like so. Again, right now we're packing, not blending, but if you do want to start blending it out, you can kind of start dragging it over towards the middle. That's going to help blend that out with the shimmer shade. And then what you may want to do is simply connect it a little bit in the crease with whatever's left on the brush. Then I'm taking that first shade Sunkissed on a smaller brush. This is an M506, but it's still a very precise blending brush. And that's gonna help us blend out these edges. Then I'm just repeating those steps, packing it on and blending until I get the desired depth that I want. Then I'm just going back with the first brush and just blending out the very edge of it to make sure it all blends seamlessly together. All right, and then once I've got that nice and blended out, I'm gonna go into the color Daydream, and first I'm gonna use an M421 brush just to kind of like place it and start blending it out into the mattes. So what I like to do is just kind of like do a stripe down the middle and then start blending it into the edges of the mattes. And as you can see, the brush really helps diffuse that. Now to really make this shimmer pop, I'm gonna take some on my finger as well and just kind of pack it on in the center. These shimmers really do work the best with your fingers. That just really gets like the full pigmentation of them out of them. And then again, if I feel like I need to blend some more, I'm just gonna go back with the brush and just make sure like all of that's blended into the matte. And then what I wanna do is make the center of the lid just pop a little bit more. So I'm gonna go into the color Moonlit, and I'm using a Sigma E47 for this. And I'm just picking some up and tapping it just in the very, very center of this halo eye. I might also, just for added pigmentation, put some on my pinky and dab it in the center right there as well. And that's just gonna give us like a super pretty halo effect. And then with the same brush, I'm just placing that Moonlit color in my inner corner and a little bit on the brow bone. Now for the lower lash line, I'm picking up that darker Overnight shade on an M432. It's just kind of like a flat definer brush, and I'm just gonna pack it on the lower lash line. Then I'm picking up that M506 again, and with the color Sunkissed, I'm gonna blend that out. So now I'm just gonna pop on a thin line of liquid liner just right along the lash line. I'm gonna pop on my Lilly lashes in the style Mykonos, and I'll be right back. All right guys, so here's the finished first look. Okay, I'm back, freshly primed lids, so let's get into the second look. So for the second look, I really wanted to play with color, do something kind of pastel-y, maybe with like ocean vibes, and I really wanted to play with this blue sea glass. It's actually kind of like an aquamarine color. It's gorgeous. So this is a little bit more of an adventurous look. So I'm gonna use the color Nude Beach for my transition shade, and again, I'm using an M441. So for this look, I'm doing a little bit more of like a standard eye shape. So I'm just running this in the crease, and I'm not bringing it down in the inner corner. I'm just kind of like ending it right below the brow bone. For a transition shade, this color is definitely fainter than Sunkissed. So if Sunkissed is too like deep for you to jump in first, you can use this as like your first transition shade, and it'll make it a lot more blendable. But this color's a little light for what I'm used to for a transition shade. So I'm really just like trying to pack it on here. Next, I'm taking the color Enchanted, and this is on an M433 brush. It's slightly smaller than the M441. And this color, I'm gonna pack in the outer corner. It's actually not very dark, so it does make it a really good like crease color for daytime looks. And then I'm gonna run that through the crease as well. Again, it's super like faint and very blendable, so it makes for a really, really nice daytime crease because you don't have to really worry about blending it so much. It's one of those colors that you can just pop into your crease in like 5 seconds. Now, if you wanted to deepen this up, you can mix it with a little bit of Overnight, and that would give it a little more depth. But I'm just gonna keep it as is because I do want this to be a very nice daytime look to where it's not like super smoky. Now this next shade is basically the exact same color as this matte, but in a shimmer shade. So I like to do that a lot to blend mattes into shimmers really effortlessly. So I'm gonna pick up the color Flourish, And I'm using an M167 brush, which is kind of like a flat shader brush, but it's a little fluffier. It's not gonna give you like really harsh lines with it. And I'm gonna apply this to the middle of the lid. And like I said, it's like the same color as that matte, so it's really going to blend in seamlessly. Now, for whatever reason, these shimmers really don't show up well with a brush. So I'm just kind of like mapping out where I want it to be with the brush. And I mean, it kind of looks like I put nothing on, but now I'm gonna dip into it with my finger and go over that. And I mean, like, that's the shade right there. So it should be plenty pigmented. And now using my finger to apply it, it's like I'm using a whole other shade. Like, it's so much more pigmented and vibrant. So definitely use your fingers with the shimmers in this palette. And now I'm gonna go into the color Sea Glass, and I'm using a MAC 242. This is the best brush to put down like lid shimmer shades, and it's still not gonna do this shade justice. But again, I'm just picking it up on the brush so that way I can kind of like map out where I want it first. And with this brush, you're also kind of like able to do a like pseudo half cut crease. And these shimmers are just like Fallout City. So I'm gonna try to brush off as much as I can. So again, with the brush, like it doesn't want to show up. It's creating a lot of fallout. So I'm going to go in with my finger now. And now it's like, whoa, pigment. So I'm going back into Flourish with my brush just to help blend out the edge between these two colors. But blending two shimmers isn't as difficult as like blending this blue into the outer corner would be, for example. So I'm just going back and forth with them a little bit to blur the edge. And then for the lower lash line, I'm just gonna go straight into the color Enchanted with an M506. And just blend that along the lower lash line, because the other color would honestly just be too light. And then again, I'm taking that same small shader brush with the color Moonlit and popping that in the inner corner and on the brow bone. So now I'm just gonna do the same thing, a thin line with liquid liner, and then I'm gonna pop on my Lilly lashes. These are in the style Posh. Okay guys, I'm back and here's the second look. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please take a second to hit that like button down below for me. And I would love to hear from you guys in the comments as to which one of these two looks you're gonna try, which one's more your vibe, so that way I can create more looks that you guys are gonna love. And if you're wondering what to watch next, you might like one of these two videos. And click right here on my face to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for tuning in, my loves, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Mwah.